All right, is it time? It's time. Got Matthew with us, but he's remote today on the phone, so the video of his beautiful mug is going to be kind of blurry and sideways. It's all good. We're here, and we're still killing it in the market, man. We did hit 5 weeks in a row with perfection. We had one little blip that was kind of iffy, but then it eventually followed through, so we're with it. Tell your friends that we kick butt and we know what we're doing, and we're here to help you know what you're doing. So that's the whole jive here. So we do appreciate the support that you guys have given us with the likes and subscribes. And as I said, we want to grow this to where we can be bigger than Kramer because we're already better than Kramer. Just saying. So anyway, looking at Nvidia, we'll start with the big dog. I'm always so reluctant to short a rounding top like this, and I know why, because usually if history repeats, everybody and their mother thinks they're going to short this thing. Like you can see a nice rounding top here, and it rallied, and it then ripped and rallied more and more and more back here from like March to the end of April. Are we seeing kind of the same scenario? Yeah, it's looking likely. And today we just broke out of the key liquidity zone I had marked out from all the way back here in June. So we're looking for the cross of the middle section here, so to speak. And you can see this consolidation's been all over the map on that, just setting the high and low. That's smack dab in the middle. And if we break out here, 147.60 is a pretty easy bull target for the not even a half mm. This is a previous measured move off of one of these blocks down here. But the big number is kind of psychotic, but not beyond the realm of plausible. Way the hell up here at like 197.80 is where I have my next bull target. If this move follows through and you got your primary set up, it's just under the midpoint for the previous high here at about 155, 156. Can it do it? I think now is the time to watch. And if we take this up on the 2-hour chart, it's still looking pretty darn bullish. We just need to wait and see what this zone does. We're testing it for support now on the top of it. And if we continue through, easy marks. First, kind of pay attention though if you're looking to scalp this thing a little shorter term. The fib target's right here, top of this bar, about 144.63. Yeah, I'll go ahead and mark that. I'll call it 144.68, whatever the top of this bar is. There'll probably be another liquidity zone right here. As you can see, there were some sellers here, so I'll probably stripe another orange zone up here later on, maybe even in the beginning of next week, but so far so good. Just pay attention to this level though. If we can hold and consolidate here and continue the trend. Thursday's looking pretty strong for this guy. Be nimble though. Nvidia can be pretty quick. And if you want to trade leverage on it with options, cool, but there's a much easier on the I'm going to be able to sleep at night meter. If you go with the
NVDX,
get the 2x leverage on there and be able to sleep at night.
I always sleep better with 2x leverage.
Right? Rather than 100x? Yeah. It makes sense. And
sure.
if you like sleeping, and I certainly do, you can also be an option seller. I love selling options for income, and I'm a little bit underwater on my TNA position for short term. But remember, before I sold that contract, I was already in a negative cost basis, even though I didn't have a position. So my current average is like right around $22, so I could care. Just let it go. I'm going to sell some premium and keep rolling with that. Also, with TNA, if you're following me on that proud moment, on that rip down the other day, I was able to sell some 39 strike for a pretty happy penny, and I'm pretty sure they're going to expire worthless this week. They expire on the 27th here. Yeah, I got a pretty good shot. So if they do, that'll put me right in the realm of on par with current price for cost basis. So happy about that. Got a few other equities to talk about here and some to follow up on. So let's go with the fresh ones first. That way we can, take the suspense out of it for those who like to just brief our show and go with it. Are you still running that short on Upstart there?
I am, and I want to see it break below the 50-day. So we will see. If it holds, then I'll probably have to cover. But if it breaks, there's a lot of white space.
Yeah,
Down to around 55.
that gap is pretty ominous there. And
Yep.
at 50 days, right at my critical support area where I had that first bear target, and that got nailed and blew through just the other day. I almost wonder if this is going to give us a nice little bear flag here and probably crawl, and then Thursday break that 66 target and then roll over and give us a full down. And then, yeah, we're looking at, I mean, half is 55, 60, full move. Let me draw the box. We'll plot it out real quick here. Run that to about the mean. I'm really liking purple on black, man. That's just such a nice color scheme.
The Ravens.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not much of a sports fan by any means, but I like colors. So, full target. Let's call it $50. I mean, that's a full extension if this gives us a wild bearish right after a bear flag break here. So, and of course, as I always say, be nimble on this because these things love to just rip bases off, and they don't
Yes, they
always have to
do.
follow through. Some setups just kind of will catch you by surprise. A great example of that, and we were just talking about this before the show, that IONQ,
Yep.
and then the same with Broadcom. But IONQ, it was like everybody, kind of gave it a thought of shorting it up here, and they were surprised. Now we're just ripping back. We're right up in the fib level here. Extension
Well,
target.
the thing about IONQ that was interesting is Google announced, the quantum news that got everyone all hot and bothered about quantum computing, and all the quantum stocks went up except for IONQ.
Right.
And it went down. It pulled an undercut and rally at the 20-day. And you see a move like that, either everybody knows something and maybe, IONQ is the loser here, which just didn't seem right. So, that's where I bought it. And, so far, so good.
That's that classic 3 bar where you get that evening morning star look there, and then it just rips back up, breaks the first bar,
Yep.
and shoots. Nice move. And yeah, it was like a sandbagger, I guess you could say. That's the only one that went down when Google broke the news, and then all of a sudden, haha, suckers, you became entrance
Yep.
liquidity for the main money. Sorry.
Yep.
That's just, a retail chart and a half right there. And then kind of the other similar situation, not same situation, was why didn't I put the ticker in here? Darn it. Broadcom, where is it? Oh, I always forget.
AVGO.
ABGO. I always forget that stupid ticker for some reason.
Yeah, AVGO is a little different. So they announced their earnings the other day, and they were just all over it on AI. So you saw an immediate pop from like 181 to 220, and then you saw another pop. Then you saw the inevitable sell off, and I ended up buying into it on Monday.
Nice. This
Well, it
is
would have been nicer to buy into it a couple of weeks ago.
right. This is kind of it was a risk situation though because I always recognize these descending broadening patterns, especially when they're at the top of a bullish trend. Um, I always say don't trade the setup, trade the break. And this setup was typically bullish, or I'm sorry, typically bearish when it's at the top of a trend. Typically bullish when it's at the bottom of a trend. But here we had that earnings call close, and I mean, you just get this perfect little red hammer right here in a place where you wouldn't expect any action. But if you looked left, you realize that 8 was crossing the 50.
Yep.
Hello, I am ready to rip. And as soon as it broke resistance, it just absolutely exploded that move. So don't always trust a setup until the break. And it gave you a clue here to grab some strength here. But with earnings calls, it's a crapshoot sometimes. Sometimes you just got to ride the earnings call itself and then get in on the action right then. So, like, if you're looking at the after hours time on that, I mean, yeah, you would have had a hell of an opportunity right in that moment.
Yep.
I mean, that was right when it broke resistance, came back, tested it for support, and then blam, earnings call just said, hello, I'm bull. So here we are looking for a big old flag to happen here. And in the meantime, if you're still long on this thing, it's looking pretty good. Let's check the weekly out. We have a nice primary trend behind this move, and we're right with that wick. We're right at the target, and we didn't give the half back. We're still bullish here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bull flag follow through on this, but for now, bull flags tend to give you a fib target. And if we were just to say, make a guesstimation of where it would be, probably right at about 240, 280 to 243 was pretty much where a flag would like to see the wave to hit the limit.
Yep.
And then, draw the rest of it and give yourself a regression line. If it pulls back there and starts to break back over, you have kind of the middle of the road move here. Whoops. Why won't that sit there where I want to? Sometimes drawings give me fits. All right, adjusted. There we go. Regression lines in a flag are always important, and if you notice, it lines right up with this daily candle here. So if we reject here, it's not beyond reason to come back to at least regression, and if it finds support on regression and it breaks angular, then we can be mega bulls and just run with it. I always like to throw on the old trap detector, so I'll take that second impulse. I'll stick it over here somewhere just to be ready to use, but if it were to break out on a second impulse and I was to see a liquidity grab, like a big wick stand right up to the top of the sucker and rip down, I ain't going to fall for that, Jack. So I'll wait. I won't short it, but I'll wait for the pullback, and then if it tests support and continues to rip, that's where you evade the trap and you get in with the long trend. You don't become someone else's exit and or entrance liquidity. You just ride on the coattails of the smart money. And it's a neat way to do it, and it's pretty accurate at finding liquidity traps. So I call it my trap detector. There's another name for it. You can just call it a basic measured move if you want to call it the fib target extension, whatever you want to do. It's all the same stuff. This is just a simple way to just draw it, throw it on a chart, and call it good.
Yep.
Makes it easy. Easy is efficient and fast, and we like to be fast and nimble in our swing trades as well as our day trades. If you guys have ever watched me day trade, it's insane.
Yep.
Sometimes on that 5-second chart, I'm in and out in less than a minute. It's just insane. Moving on to our swing trading stuff, though. IBM kind of looking like it could be a decent short on the weekly, man. That M top is pretty obvious. Do you think everybody's going to fall for it, or do we think this is going to be sneaky?
I think IBM is a quantum long-term winner. And if it holds the 50-day, I like it here. I mean, if it doesn't, then it comes down. Yeah, I'd probably buy dips at support levels. But, I think that's the big that's the big level I'd be watching.
Same. Yeah, I can agree. And again, even though this is a descending wedge here, similar situation. Just use your trap detector. Set it aside. It'll tell you what's up. There's your angular. And if liquidity gets grabbed and rejected here, cool. You can short it. Be nimble. But I would rather wait and buy the dip. I would be part of be a full-fledged member of the BTFD crew at that point. M-tops are great until they fail. And sometimes they just end up being a big old bull flag on a weekly chart. And, you just roll with it.
Exactly.
History is the same right here. I mean, you can see that started to look like an M-top. It gave back a little bit right about where we're at here. History repeats. Well, it doesn't repeat, it rhymes. But we know what's up. So keep an eye on this one. I think this is going to be a sneaky surprise for sure. I still have a full bullish measured move target at 250, 350 up here in case things do get bullish. But we're nimble and waiting for this to break and give us the sign of, should we run bullish with it or should we wait until this setup breaks? I think I'm going to stay with my previous suggestion. Don't trade the setup, trade the break. The break's going to be much more exciting. You're not going to miss out on much if you fail to catch exactly the break. So just be patient and be ready to just conservatively take the swings. They'll give you.
I think that makes sense.
They'll give you the opportunity. Let's see here. I'm all over the place today. Um, SMR. We're kind of hanging out at support. We bounced off of it the other day, and we're right back to the reversion here. Can this continue higher? We know the whole jive on the fact that nuclear takes time to install, but expedition funds or expedited funds into it can kind of be sudden when you've got all of a sudden everybody investing in it. So can we get another hype wave out of this and maybe approach back to that 2385 target I had before, and then maybe call that a good scalp? Possibly, but just kind of wait and see if we break above the
Yeah,
mean
I'd
here
I'd I'd, I'd wait and see on this one.
for sure.
Nice decline from 32, and now it looks like at best it wants to go sideways.
I agree. And if you use the old head and shoulders mentality situation here, we have a left shoulder. There's a massive head on this thing. Right shoulder has been met once, but it was in a channel. So right now, the most you could see from this is probably a right shoulder move across the mean here. So maybe a scalp from like 2050 on up to 22 is possible. Just be nimble, man. This thing is looking pretty ominous for a somewhat long-term short for somebody.
Yep.
At least come back to reason where you get the reversion trade down here to like 1630 is a little bit more probable than running with the bulls here a little bit more. Needless to say, that can change in a heartbeat. I mean, it might get a sudden decision to get expedited government support. You never know. Our tax dollars might be poured into this. It happens. um, a while back we were kind of kicking around the idea that PG&E would be subsidized, and they did announce news about that Trump was going to feed some money into revitalizing the infrastructure that PG&E had issues with and burned down half the state a while back. can it
Yep.
can it kind of eventually set the trend for some of the other energy companies where we know the grid is kind of not wore out and shot, but just very obsolete. Not to be replaced, but to be at least upgraded to the point where it can handle the loads we're going to be putting on it with AI and the power demand. Yeah, I'd say it's a good place to pour some government funds, but would it be a good swing trade? Possibly.
Well, I like the utilities here. I mean, the utilities got crushed, and all of them look pretty much the same throughout December, and it looks like they bottomed the other day. So, Duke is the one I just added, but
Yeah,
PG&E looks similar.
it does. And I know people personally who were so far ahead of the big crash on PG&E. They just I would never say throw all your money into one position, but some of these guys did. They put everything they had and everything they could borrow into a bearish position on PG&E and made life-changing money on that move. Don't don't
Yep.
don't do that. It's a bad idea. It's a gamble. You could write a book about it later and call it The Big Short, but that was quite a gamble for that guy too. He had really good facts and really good information stacked up, so I can't really knock him for that. It wasn't necessarily a gamble, but it was how do we say? If he lost big, well, he would just be working until the day he died. But if he won big, he was going to be set for life, and well, he was the latter part set for life. It can happen. Um, Event wise, we don't see anything huge in energy other than the fact that it's going to be in serious demand. So we know that utilities are going to start picking up, and the daily picked off right on that 200 like a magic charm, so to speak. I threw a more conservative target on the short term of it of about 112 or so myself. 113 would be the expected move. So I kind of put it in a little bit more of a conservative light on this, and it looks like a nice half back for the previous trend. But if it breaks that, sure, it can shoot much higher. The better part of this would be a good channel trade. So like if you're looking for extensions on that. If you're long and I always say take some risk off and leave some runners on if you're confident in finishing through the move. A break above 112, 113 should send it to angular up here, and in time, you could probably say, by about mid-January here, 115, 116 would be a good extension target for that. If it breaks out of that, take note of this liquidity zone up here and just kind of be ready to deal with that when the time comes. But yeah, utilities are starting to look good. And yeah, they're all about the same. You're right.
Yeah.
We have confirmation on Apple probably finishing its move. We know, gosh, I've been talking about this thing for far too long, but the primary move was pretty obvious. Secondary move, half target was met. I'm still bullish on Apple. All my short terms paid for the risk in my long terms, and I'm in a free position now. I'm shooting for the moon on that. 282 is a full move. Kind of take note of the quarter though. So like 267, 266 is about a quarter of the rest of this move. I would anticipate some consolidation in that range when we get there, but I think we're going to be there probably in the first week of January. The way things are looking now, that breakout is definitely solid and strong. So the old break my elbow, pat myself on the back is definitely warranted on this one. Would it be too late to get in now? You missed the bulk of the move, but there's still people buying here. I mean, those bars don't come from nothing.
I mean, if you're a intermediate term to longer term investor, Apple's a stock where you need to be there.
Right.
As a trader, would I be adding here? I wouldn't.
No, me neither.
But I would certainly be looking for a spot to add though.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, short term, I go to the 2-hour chart, primary, secondary. It's set up. So like half a move, 250, 258.75 would be a good extension for the day. If it can break that, cool. It can stay up there and run to 262 or so. But yeah, be a little bit more conservative with this here. And as a trader, yeah, I won't be adding here, but someone did. Some investors did. People who are patient enough to wait years for this to finish its move. Sure, they're in the mix. As far as the monthly chart goes, though, I mean, that's some pretty parabolic growth if you think about things as an investor, too. So am I still confident in hitting that 282? Yeah, I'm pretty confident in it, but I'm going to be nimble in between here and there. I'll probably, peel off some profit on my long-term position, probably right around 265 or so, and just let the rest run, and we'll see what happens. But whenever you see a big, almost vertical move like this, when it goes parabolic like that, you best be nimble and you best be quick to take some profit, because things can change in a heartbeat when you see a chart do that. And every bit of this bullishness can be reversion very quickly, or just as quickly. The stairs up, window down adage. Well, let's say the elevator up and the window down. Stairs up, elevator down, comparatively.
Yep.
Okay, got a couple others to go through if I don't lose my voice. Let's see here. We already talked about NVIDIA. PayPal is taking its sweet time. Did I talk about PayPal yet?
Not yet.
Brain dead. Kind of playing in the liquidity zone. It is looking a little top heavy here, but it's still got a good chance of follow through if it can break resistance here at about $88. I'm pretty sure it's looking bullish for most people in the weekly chart when you start looking at reversions. But if it doesn't trend here, and it doesn't have to, it can certainly get pulled back to like $80 pretty quickly. So my position is negative risk overall, so I'm okay sitting until it sees the top of this liquidity zone. Probably Thursday I'll be looking for. If it doesn't break out by the day after Christmas here, I might be just taking the rest of my position off, and then I'll see if I can get another entry or roll it out to a later date, if anything, and see what comes to be expected from that. But so far, I mean, it's gone through every bit of market structure. This is where we'd expect a trend if it was going to give us one. But again, don't hold your breath. Be ready to be nimble, and staying liquid in this is going to be key. If it does shoot that $100 bill, yeah, absolutely, it's going to pay for your mortgage, if you will. But if it gets rejected here, your hopes and dreams might be dashed. And we never trade on hopes and dreams. We always trade on data. And this is where we just take the whole cold hard facts and roll with it. If it can't break here, it can get rejected here, and it has done this before. This can turn into the old Head and Shoulders and get ripped back down to $80 pretty quick. So be nimble at this point if you're still long on this thing. I do have those YOLOs. They are negative risk. I'm happy taking profit here or there or anywhere. I don't care at this point. No reason to lose sleep for me.
Nope.
But I'm not everybody. Let's see. We got a couple others we can go and whiz through. Did we talk about AR yet?
Nope.
AR is a nasty, nasty chart, but for some, that's gold. Right now, I'd say if this were a giant cup and handle, this is where we're making the right rim of the cup, so to speak. And if we start attacking fibs, all we gotta do is break this angular, and we're right up on it today.
So I own AR and EQT. EQT is a much cleaner chart.
Definitely. And as far as AR goes, it's the rowdy one that you would quickly scalp the argument outcome, but EQT is going to be your better long play. So I'm looking at this consolidation and realizing that this is one of those consolidations that can break fast. So just be nimble if you're going to shoot this thing. Pretty much fib targets are right in play, 3480, 3640, easy marks if it breaks this angular here. If it rejects here, it can make a very fast half back to like 28.5. So yeah, you best be nimble if you're going to scalp this thing. But the other one, is going to be better. And was it EQT?
EQT.
We're looking at kind of a similar situation, just smoother, descending channel.
Yeah.
Same fib outcome. And this one I put the big block measured move on to where you got half at 49.50 here, whole is 53.60. Got to break resistance first, and we're looking at about 45.20 for that, and it's definitely making an attempt at that pretty quick here. Today we saw some nice bullishness on the open, and one other thing to kind of pay attention to here is that reversion target for the 2 hour is right exactly where the 2 hour 200 is, 44.80. If it can't break that today, it may pull back and consolidate here a little longer. But if it smokes that, Thursday is going to be a rally day. So be ready for this one to move. If you got long on our call out on this one last week, I was talking a little bit about it. I, for some stupid reason, get this confused with natural gas. Do it all the time. But the technicals are what counted, and we were right. We were pretty good, able to be bullish on this thing, and now we're at a point where I'm taking some risk off. So I'm going to wait and see what this does, but it's got a pretty big move coming for sure. We're right at that mark. So be nimble. This thing can either give you a nice payday or rip your face off. There's no in between, one or the other. There was one other natural gas. I was looking at natural gas anyway. Dang, I forgot the ticker. Might have been in my last week thing. Oh yeah, NFE.
NFE, yeah.
Target met, baby. That bullish measured move was beautiful. This morning you can see everybody saw the same thing. Profit being taken. Part of that was me. I'm not that red candle, but I was participating in it. Can we say that maybe we consolidate here and set up a flag situation in the upper half of this measured move? It's possible. We still have a reversion target to 1590s possible on this thing. And if it breaks that, that's market structure high, upper range. If it breaks that, reversion full, conservative full, $22, pretty obvious. That's hopium. Don't chase that until you see a nice confirmation of a breakout. For now, we're just trading market structure on this. We're right in the area where market structure would be, and this is where profit is taken on this particular move. If it gets wild and breaks out again, extension, half this bar up is 1590. It's pretty obvious there. So this is the point where we swing from being calm, collective, and actually being able to sleep at night to let's be nimble and not lose any sleep. So
Yeah.
my target's met. I'm happy with this one. Just be ready for this thing to get volatile. If it consolidates and breaks out from here, it'll be quick. So it'll be a better day trading chart very soon. And this one was tough to pick. I had to go through a lot of tickers to find this one before I saw this obvious market structure set up. And most of the other natural gas don't look anything like this. They're already at reversions or beyond. So, we're pretty much looking at this one as kind of a lagger in the situation, but it played out beautifully. So now we're on to kind of scanning for better themes to get into than natural gas as far as this move is concerned. So we'll hang loose on this one. One of my other dolls, SSR Mining, starting to form up for a possible wave 2 attack to a fib level, maybe $8, $8.10 would be a good target on this thing. It kind of bounced off that reversion here pretty nicely. We're right up against resistance, kind of tapped into that yesterday. I think we got an extension to like 7:30, and if it breaks 7:30, cool, we'll get a nice little morning star setup out of that for the day. It is a short day. The market closes at 1 today. It's less than an hour from now. If it can't quite do that, I might say we come back to the 20 period and say about $7 for Thursday. If it holds support there and starts to trend out, maybe next week we get a nice bull run out of this thing and we can attack, the 780 to like 810 would be a good range for this to move. So keep it on your radar. Be really cool if we see a nice big old cup and handle here, and that's kind of why I'm looking at it in a longer term chart. Is that would be beautiful, and it might take the middle of January to get there. Weekly chart, as you know, that situation where they had a mine collapse in Turkey and that's shut down still. They went on a buying spree and bought a bunch of stuff from what was the other one? NUE, was it? I can't remember. Newmont, yeah.
Yeah,
NEM.
NEM. NUE is Nucor.
My bad. Yeah, and NEM. So they went and bought a bunch of stuff from NEM. So obviously some money changed hands. NEM, of course, got some sell-offs, and my friend's collar strategy was threatened a bit, but he's still in a good position to exercise those. They don't expire till January 17th on the put side, so if he needs to get out, he can. But in the meantime, the covered calls pretty much worth zero now, so that's paid for itself. Can it bounce there? Well, there is a range bar here, but it's the less interesting minor stock to most of us. And I think
but also it's the only. I'd be a little worried because it's the only one that doesn't look like complete crap.
True. And that's the other side of this, is that we could see consolidation here right in this level, right around 36 to 37.50. And if it starts to look better there on the monthly chart, that's just one giant inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is where the right shoulder would be. So if we get a reversal, we may end up with a good bullish scalp out of this yet. So stay tuned. We're going to keep it on the radar. Right in the level where we'd expect it to pull back to. It's hanging there. If it breaks, exercise your puts and take advantage of them, because that's got a hell of a ride down to 28.70. But if it holds here, there's still a shot at staying long on this for at least a reversion trade, 43, possible breakout to 46 and 48 respectively. But stay tuned. This is going to take a little while to work out before we get there. The collar strategy was wise on this one. Not to injure my elbow again, but it was a pretty good move. I think we talked about Talon already, didn't we?
No, before the call we did.
That's right. I get confused. Today my brain is fried, Family time.
It's Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. What do you expect?
Partied a little last night. Gonna party again tonight. It's Christmas.
Yep.
We're looking pretty damn bullish still on TLN here. Just be aware that there's a half back target right up here at about 212. 212.70 was the extension. I'm going to bump that down just a little bit, be conservative. 212.20 is more respectable for a halfback move in the short term. Long term, though, this thing can boogie. We've been parabolic and it just doesn't care. So, fib target up here, like 222 extension. It never quite met that measure move bull target, but if it breaks the mean and starts to continue trending, 233.70 is still relevant. We still have a good shot at that. So, I definitely like to set up here. Would I add here? No, I added yesterday. But I'm going to wait and see if it breaks this 212.20 area and starts to give us the go ahead for follow through. But if not, I'll take my risk off. Thank you. This is one of the more volatile energy stocks that we've been trading. So, you definitely got to be on your P's and Q's with this one. Let's see here. Last but not least, what do we got? I don't think we talked about Bristol Myers yet.
Nope.
So, holding off on a bull flag on this thing, it's met my bull targets and then some. Reversion target's been met, rejected, not once but twice. Third time's the charm. If we can come back up to the fib and say about $58.90 to $59 or so and start to get bullish, cool. We can get with it and go above the reversion. This thing's been around for a lot longer than we can say that's a full market structure move. But looking left, it's been there, done that. Now we are in this massive monthly broadening pattern. We're right at the regression line of that. That's where this big long purple line comes from. Be careful here. If it breaks out, cool. We can run to all-time highs for all we care. But here is where you're going to be cautious. This is where.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. I got dogs too. They're in the kennel though. Love pets. The base of this guy is pretty parabolic. It's made its move. It doesn't owe us anything. But if it does get exciting here, sure, we can say this will rip and finish the move at least to the fib level. If this ends up being a big giant diamond pattern, we can kind of weigh that out too. I'm going to go to this high here, that close of the bar, just to kind of be conservative with. If it breaks this regression line, it lines up about with this fib target, say 67, 68 bucks would be a good extension for that. But be aware that most of the bullishness is done to here. Profit taking is wise. You can see we're not the only ones who think that way, obviously on the bars. Profit's being taken and risk is being kind of held back on this. Anybody putting money into this right now will be very conservative with it. So that's why we're seeing some low volume here. If it gets extended and we start to see it be bullish here, cool. We got a pretty obvious, easy short-term fib target and throw an angular on that as well, just to be on the safe side. Probably rendezvous right under about 58.60 or so, right to the previous wick there. I like to go into the 2 hour on this too. It looks a little like it was a double bottom. This is where it can turn into a bear flag. So again, I'm just saying risk is being taken off here. People are adjusting their positions, and if they're long term and they're going to buy here, you'll see it in the chart. Go to the shorter terms, 15-minute, 30-minute, 2 hours. You'll start to see it play off. If it can hold this area and continue higher, cool. If not, you don't have to own it. Just be nimble, scalp it, wait for the big move to play out later. All right, well, kind of running out of stuff to talk about unless we got some stuff in the background we're watching.
No, and I mean I should probably hop anyway. It's the early power hour.
Yeah.
We've got some machinations on MSTU today. A lot big up day.
Nice. And I'll go quickly over QQQ and IWM and call it a day. I think that's reasonable. So QQQ, we're threatening a breakout here. 529.14 is my golden fib target here for the extension on that move. We're breaking out of this range that we've been messing with. We made it through the liquidity zone that I have mapped out here. And you can see that there is a fib target extension if things rally into Thursday, and we do get that after Christmas rally. 533 is my target right in that fib. Likewise with IWM, and IWM tends to lead the pack, so to say. we watch RTY pretty religiously, and some of our newer traders were showing how to trade M2K conservatively on the future side. Tell me that isn't the most obvious inverse head and shoulders you've ever seen in your life. Hello.
Yeah.
Running for the neckline today. If we break the neckline, wait a minute. IWN? No, IWM. I didn't know there was an IWN. I dumb thumbed that one.
Yeah, IWN is a different small cap. It's like small cap growth or small cap value. I forget.
So it probably has better weight anyway, as far as balance goes, because the 2,000 stocks can get quite chaotic. But still,
Yeah.
same scenario. Obvious inverse head and shoulders here. If we break the neckline about 223 and some change, we got a pretty good shot at rallying into Thursday. Reversion target 226 is pretty obvious. If it shoots for the full reversion of this entire trend, LZ's right up here about 232. So it is strong, and we've been scalping it all the live long day for a couple weeks now. And if you've seen some of my futures trades, that are insanely short lived, but man, this stuff is easy to scalp. If you scalped NQ and you learn how to trade the price action there, and you're still profitable, come to IWM or M2K or RTY, and it just makes it easy, which is great for beginners. If you want to learn something, go paper trade NQ and then come into something like that before you go live, and you start to have a sense of confidence in your trades, and that TA just really starts to pay off right there. And this is one of those times. So anyway, with that, I think that's a wrap. I think we're just waiting for this to give us the Christmas rally into Thursday, or if it rejects, we can wait till next week. We're patient. We know what to do.
Yes, we do. And just also be careful of anything that rallies into year end
Yeah,
tends to sell off beginning of January. So don't
absolutely.
chase.
No. We never chase. Chase is a bank, not a strategy.
Yep, you got it.
I'll quote Creedmoor on that one. Thanks again for joining us, guys. Thanks for the support. And again, tell your friends, tell your family, we are here to give you guys an edge like you've never seen before. I'll straight out say it. We're so much better than Kramer. We're even better than Kathy Woods. Come on, check us out.
Yep.
Spread the word. Thanks again, guys.